Hello, 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 and thank you for having me. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself and tell you who I am. I am Kristen Lewis. That's right, Kristen Lewis full and well, and that is of Breakthrough University. And today we have partnered with Best Choice Events, and we are going to be bringing you a wonderful presentation. We're going to talk about family and community engagement. We're going to talk about it in a plethora of ways. So first, we're going to start with students and parents, and talking about communication and how vital and important that is, not just with them communicating with one another, but with parents and students communicating with staff. So let's get into it and pull up our stuff. All right, so here we go. We are sharing the screen. Everybody can see it. So let's start off first with the first part. Like I said, we're going to start here, building healthy relationships via communication, listening, and negotiation skills for parents and youth at the Red Oak-Sturgeon Elementary. Okay? That's what we're doing today. And when we get done with this, you're going to head on over for the administration and staff that want to find out some tools, some tips and strategies on how they can further engage their parents and the community. You can check out the second part of the class. So let's go. So building healthy relationships. Today, we thought it was important to break it down into two parts. Why? Because we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, and we want to understand everything that we're doing. So communication is sending and receiving messages. Now, you're going to do this in a plethora of ways, as we'll see in the next few slides, but let's start with the basics. Communication, sending and receiving messages. Another thing is listening. That's another part of communication. Active listening. Let's hear the other party. Let's hear their thoughts. Let's hear their emotions. Let's see where they're coming from. What are their feelings? Why? Because we want to have effective communication. So the pros for parents with teachers or administration in terms of communication. All right. Communicate. What's the definition? It's the sharing or exchange of information, news, or ideas. So what are some pros? The pros for parents with teachers or admin, or benefits, I should say, that a parent would want to communicate with the teachers or the administration at their children's school is the following. They would be able to build a relationship with the teachers, staff, and administration. They'll be able to help identify strengths, weaknesses of the student. They'll also possibly secure recommendations for future endeavors or scholarships, community activities, different clubs, different things you want your child to be a part of. The next thing you'll be able to do is address the concerns, of your student or students. Now let's talk about the benefits or pros for students that are communicating with their teachers or admin at their school. The students will ultimately build confidence. They will gain maturity. Why that is? Because now they're being self-starters. They're able to actually speak on what it is that's affecting them, things, their opinion about certain situations and circumstances at the school. They get a feeling of community or family. They get a chance to possibly avoid or address bullying. And you may even get extra credit for your parents showing up to meetings or events at your school. I know my kids, they always did. They always got credit for me showing up, and I really like that. They would get homework passes and stuff like that. That was so cool. So the concerns of not communicating and the concerns of communicating. I really don't like to say advantages and disadvantages. We want to put a positive spin on this and just think about some things that could possibly be concerning. So for one, if you're choosing to not communicate, one, problems may snowball, meaning they may grow. Start out small and grow larger and larger and larger. Problems will snowball because you didn't address them, which may lead to frustration. Two, grades may have errors and no corrections around. So I'll take my own youth, for example. There were times that they didn't get the correct grade on their test or quiz, or they may have said, okay, you didn't turn such and such in. And they're like, well, yes, I did turn it in. And then we were able to show documentation, look over the kids' folders and say, okay, well, no, this is it here. You did this. And sometimes, people make mistakes. So we have to grant one another a little grace here, and try to be patient as possible when it comes to these kind of situations, or when it comes to communicating, especially communicating effectively with your children or with the administration at your child's school. So another thing that's a concern of not communicating, so if you don't communicate, possibly it could lead to friction. It could be a foundation for friction or disagreements, since the peers will see that there's no parental support. Oftentimes it can thwart off or act like a barrier from bullying, or even stop bullying for that matter. Sometimes you're misunderstood. So that's one of the, so to speak, drawbacks. Sometimes you can be misunderstood. Like, people can totally miss your viewpoint. You're trying to say one thing and imply something, and then they're saying, no, that's not what I'm receiving, or I don't hear that, or I don't feel as though this is what you mean, when in actuality, you know what it is you're trying to imply. You know your own intentions. Unfortunately, that's not always conveyed the way you want and need it to be. Communication can happen verbally or non-verbally. So let's look at some cues regarding verbal communication. So verbal communication can come in by way of hollering, yelling. Short answers are given when questions are asked. For example, how was your day? Good. Okay. Don't really know if the day was good or not, but they said good. They shrugged their shoulders. It very well could have been, or they could be trying to brush you off. We shall see. Sobbing is another way of communication. Your tone of voice may be calm or may be patient. Nonverbal communication. So what did you see or what did you feel? Okay. People's facial expressions. Sometimes I get animated, or sometimes I get frustrated. And people may do something that I may not agree with. And I may say, and give them the side eye, give them the look, facial expression. We talked about that. Shrugging of shoulders. We already gave that example. Use of emojis. That's a big one. Use of emojis while texting. The use of colors, postings, drawings, whether you're in text, or you very well may give your child an activity and be able to doodle. They'll be able to doodle and draw. And then you'll say, oh, well, I thought you were going to create a masterpiece, which in actuality, it is a masterpiece. But sometimes young people will hide their pain and they'll put it in a picture. Sometimes people don't always want to express what's going on in their home or things that they're dealing with in school. So they rather just make a picture, draw it out, and non-verbally communicate and just draw their feelings, okay? So in the beginning, we talked about sending and versus receiving messages. So this is very important, because your intentions, how you send or issue out the message, very well may be different from how the other individual that you're talking to or communicating with is receiving it. So for sending messages, people communicate or give messages by their actions and or words. By way of how? Emails, texts, phone calls, in person, social media posts and messages, inboxes, so to speak, and the list goes on and on and on. Receiving messages. What did you see or feel? Feelings may be hurt. You may be happy. You may think someone is annoyed by you. You may even gain confidence from the response of the person you are conversing with. Let's take this scenario for an example. Messages can be sometimes misunderstood. For example, let's look at the cat scenario. If I took my phone, take my phone, and I begin to text my daughter, and I text her and I say, come downstairs, and I put it in all caps. Now, If you don't know what that means, oftentimes when you type in caps, caps means you're hollering. So she may think I'm in trouble. But in actuality, if I never knew that all caps meant you're hollering by way of texting, that may be some kind of an issue here, right? Because she's going to think she's in trouble. She's going to think I'm hollering. She may come down the steps being defensive, and that was never my intentions to begin with. So you got to be mindful of different things, not just how you're sending the message, but how the other person may receive it. You want to talk to them, get their opinion, see how they're feeling. So, how communication from parents and students help a school? That is key. That is very, very important. So the school is a safe zone since learning can occur freely. Peer mediation groups can be formed. Attendance will possibly go up. Why? Because the kids are happy to be at school. Better grades for students since students and parents are informing teachers of the issues, rules, or assignments. Trust is built. You're creating a fun atmosphere. Grades are rising. You have more successful activities like fundraisers, plays, any events. They sell out, even if you have to go virtual in the middle of a pandemic. You have more school spirit. You have a family-like setting. You're building trust in and outside the classroom. And you have support for students if they don't understand how to do their assignments, what rules are implemented at the school. You want to effectively communicate. The students' role. The students' role are to show up and participate in class, be leaders in and outside of the class, be on time, get ready, be ready, and stay ready to learn, that is. Have fun while learning. And lastly, support their friends and peers with fairness and kindness. That's their students' role in communicating. Let's not forget parent and students communicating together. It is totally rewarding when a youth and their parent or parents are able to communicate, especially in a good way. When they have that respect for one another's opinion, when they value one another's opinion, and when they value one another's just space, and just respecting their space, their time, and them being as a person, it promotes trust. It encourages even more respect down the line, even when your parents aren't around. It increases dependability. You can count on your child to do the right thing, whether you're around or not. Why? Because you communicate. You have that open door. Y'all talk to one another. Y'all conversate. You interact. You engage with one another. And it also can decrease and avoid secrets because you're open and honest with one another. You communicate. These are some messages that we want to talk about regarding the wrap up. So this is very important. This is like bringing you to the home stretch, bringing it all together. So we know that messages are sent and they're received in numerous ways. Which ways is that? Verbal and nonverbal, be it through text messages, body movement, body language, the tone, the pitch of the voice, whether somebody is short with their statement, short with their answers, or long-winded. There are countless benefits of children and parents communicating with staffs and teachers to boost the morale, not just of the school, but of the students, and give them the extra support that they need. Students should have fun, right? Students should have fun. I'm big on fun. Students should have fun and get ready, be ready, and stay ready to learn, that is. So how? What are the tools in order for us to do everything we need to do if we are a parent and or student? You want to ask questions. Another thing I didn't put in here, especially when you're at a school, you want to get a copy of the handbook or any kind of rules or policies. You want to be respectful. You want to give your opinion in a respectful tone. That's right. You want to get organized and write down your thoughts. You want to form friendships and relationships. And lastly, you want to journal or write down events or what upsets you and think about it. Breathe before you overreact, right? You want to breathe before you react so you do not overreact. Okay? So I hope this finds you well. There we go. Give yourselves a round of applause. You did a great job. You made it through. You made it through the effective communication. We were communicating and building healthy relationships. Our parents, our students, that's right. At the school, we did a great job. Give yourselves once again a round of applause. And y'all stay tuned for those that want to stick around for how effective communication can be built up regarding the school. That's right. The school will be able to learn next, and they'll be able to see some tips, some tools, some strategies on communicating and how to garner and gain the communication from parents, from families, from the community. Get those community sponsors and stuff like that. All right, y'all take care. It's been a pleasure. Peace. So once again, I'm Kristen Lewis of Breakthrough University, otherwise known as Kristen Lewis Philomellin of Breakthrough University. And today we are working in partnership with Best Choice Events. So who is the presenter? This is me. I am a mother. I am a wife. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a trainer. I'm actually an author. That's right. I produce self-published children's books. I'm a friend. I'm an employee. I'm a graduate of Temple University. I have a Bachelor of Arts in psychology, and I'm also a philanthropist. So welcome to you. All right, so let me give you a bit of my backstory, because you may look at me and say, oh, everything's peaches and cream. She's so excited. She's so relatable. All right, let's see. So my backstory, I actually grew up as an only child to a mother and father. That's right. I was in a two-parent home. They were husband and wife. However, the home life, goodness gracious, it was volatile. You hear me? It was volatile. My father, unfortunately, he was a former military gentleman, and he had some bouts with alcoholism, and he was ultimately abusive to my mother and I. So things have not always been peaches and cream. I went through a period where I had to work 3 jobs. You hear me? Work 3 jobs while maintaining a proper GPA, because they both had got laid off at the same time. Why do I tell you this? What makes it significant? It makes it significant as I present, because you can see why I'm so passionate. I am so passionate about educating, equipping, and empowering individuals with the information and the knowledge that I know and that I've learned over the years through doing a multitude of businesses, or during a multitude of, being employed for different employers. So I'm super passionate. Okay. So past and present experience. So in my formative years, I was an infant and a preschool teacher. I was a family advocate for a Head Start program for, I want to say, about 6 to 8 years, for multiple programs. It was 3 Head Start programs, one of which I worked for them for about 5.5, 6 years. The other program, I worked for them for, I want to say, like a year, and then another program, another year. Okay. So I'm a community partner. That's right. Because I enjoy partnering with individuals in the community. I love networking. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread, as they say. But I love networking because it gives me an opportunity to, one, get to know individuals that I did not know about, and that could very well add value to my life and to the way I do business, and to the way I learn, and to the way I see things. I think it's an amazing thing to network. EPIC is Equal Partners in Change. Once again, EPIC is Equal Partners in Change. I was a former EPIC stakeholder. I think that is an awesome and phenomenal opportunity to be a part of that, and you'll get to find out more information about that as we go on with the training today. I'm a former foster care, kinship care social worker, and as you can see, I'm a trainer and presenter. So I hope everybody, you got your coffee, you got your juice, your Skittles, whatever it is. No, Skittles is not endorsing the video. But hopefully you have everything you need, your water, your pen, paper pad, whatever it is you need. Sit tight so we can get into it, all right? So what is it that we're going to do today? So the objective for today, let's see if we can move this down here. That might work. There we go. Take a sip of water. All right. So the objective for today is for you to learn practical skills to engage your students and their families ongoing throughout the school year and beyond. Okay, that's the plan for today. So what characteristics or skills will aid in success? So what's the success? Being able to reach these partnerships, so to speak, being able to have some sense of buy-in from the students that you service and or their families, okay? And how are you going to measure that success? We'll get to measuring of success a little bit later. But these are some definite characteristics and skills that aid in it. So one is determination. Another is networking, as I mentioned before. Another one is organization. That's right, having organizational skills. If you are organized in your thoughts and the way that you strategize your task, or the way that you strategize your plan, so to speak, of how you want to engage and recruit students, or engage and recruit volunteers from your parents of your student body, you definitely want to be organized. Also, do you have a willingness to form partnerships? Do you want to take credit for everything, or are you willing to form a partnership with individuals, be it in the community, form a partnership even with the students, so they can feel like they have a sense of buy-in in your program or in your school, okay? Are you receptive to suggestions? Are you compassionate? Do you have a problem with doing things repeatedly? Chances are you're going to need to be able to adopt that mindset, I should say. You want to be able to do things repetitively. From time to time, you just may have to. Sometimes people learn that way by you repeating things over and over again. Are you detail oriented? Do you pay attention to the small details? Do you have effective listening skills? These are all things that you really want to be mindful about when it comes to engaging your students and your staff, for that matter, and the parents that you service, your families, okay? Why? What is the importance? So now we know what kind of mindset and different things we should be thinking about of how we can get to the end of the tunnel, so to speak. I'm looking at my timer from time to time, just making sure we're good to go. You want to know why. So what is the importance of doing all of this stuff? So one, you want to have an influence in the community. What good is it for you to have a program, have a school for that matter, whatever it is, the program or operation that you're running, and people don't know who you are? You don't have any stake in the ground, so to speak. You don't have any stake in the community. You want individuals to know who you are, right? Why? Because it will possibly limit marketing fees. You want people to see that you have a buy-in in the community as you recruit to receive your enrollment numbers, right? To increase that enrollment, increase your student body, whether you're serving daycare students or school-age students, okay? You want to, like I said, increase your enrollment. You want to increase attendance and maintain it. It's a beautiful feeling to have children that want to come to school. It's a beautiful feeling to have parents that want to send their children to school. You'd be surprised how many youth are deal with truancy issues because they just don't come to school, or they're tardy, late all the time. So another thing, you want to be able to change lives. That's right. Yours, your staff, your children, and the families you service. You know, we all have something to offer one another in this world. I take great delight in learning from my children, learning from staff, learning from families that I service and their children. You know, we learn from one another. That's what makes the world go round. You want to have family retention. Chances are, if you have little Susie or little Bobby and the mom has another child years down the line, chances are, if you serve them well with a pure heart and good intentions, chances are they may bring that younger child, you know, their other offspring back to you for your services because they're grateful for the customer service and for everything that you provided, all the services, all the love, the generosity. Were you genuine in your approach? Did you have a love, care, and concern for the children and the families that you serviced? People pay attention to those things, you know? Community partnerships. I always love community partnerships. That's an awesome and amazing thing to have, because when you have community partnerships, once again, and people in the community see that you have a stake in the ground, or stake in the, you know, however they say it. I think it's stake in the ground, or basically you have a presence, a community presence. People in the community will ultimately want to partner with you, right? And they may want to, very well want to support you and sponsor you when it comes to different events. You very well may not have to kick out all that money and look for all this funding to host your back to school drives or to host your ice cream sundae giveaway. You'd be surprised. Different people in the community may just want to pour into you. Why? Because you've been so pivotal in the community with being a constant, with providing resources, providing good content, possibly online. Okay? Once again, we talked about that already, possibly gaining funding via sponsors, how through your community partnerships, or even through other programs. You know, there are plenty of programs. You can go to the supermarket and you'd be surprised. Many of the products that you purchase, you can call them and get in touch with their customer relations department. You can call them. They'll possibly send out, I used to do it. They'll possibly send out coupons. They'll possibly send out, if not coupons, actual free merchandise, free products for the events that it is that you want to have. You just really be surprised what you can get when you take hold of those community partnerships. Staff retention, that is key. That is so key in the industry of working with children and their families. Staff retention is key, especially, because we've dealt with this pandemic, okay? So you definitely want to have that together. Now, you also want to gain a vested interest as a stakeholder in the community, and you want to, what did I say before? Limit your marketing fees, right? If you fail to plan, this is not my quote, but I love this quote, according to the awesome and amazing Ben Franklin. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So what are we going to do? We're going to make some plans. That's right. We're going to strategize. Y'all have to excuse me. I have a guinea pig that's super excited. I'm trying to teach you, and he's over there popcorning. He wants to play. He's just running around. Our little buddy's going to have to calm down because we are learning today. All right. So let's talk about the success I had, and then we'll get to breaking down the success that we want you to have, okay? So as a former family advocate, I had the opportunity to take my enrollment facilities. Mind you, there were several facilities that I was responsible for, some of which at the same time and some of which not at the same time. And at any rate, on an overall average, I was able to increase the enrollment numbers at these facilities by 90 to 95%. And I acquired wait lists, right? How was I able to do that? How was I able to increase the enrollment numbers? How was I able to form these ongoing community partnerships, right? And how was I able to form these family partnership agreements? This is how I did it. All these different things I was able to do, all this family engagement, right? By a plethora of ways, as you can see, and we're going to get into it. So, when I said that I took facilities from under enrollment to over enrollment and created the wait list, how did I do that? That's right. I used to stand in the hallway and greet my parents and children as they came in and out. I was actively concerned if somebody had to leave early and go to the doctors. Somebody, needed an appointment to get something seen about, whether it was a dental appointment, a medical appointment, if they were dealing with grief, they had a death in the family. I know it's a lot to remember, but hey, you can get to it. I used index cards. It was my best friend. I would jot down the name of a student, jot down the name of a parent, stick it in my index cards, and then first thing every Monday, I would just scroll through right quick. Or if I saw something that was supposed to be coming up. So say, for instance, I knew somebody might be having surgery September 2nd. So I might write that on the card, circle it, highlight surgery, and write that on there, put the person's name. And then I'll just fan through my index cards real quick and see what's highlighted, what's like lit up. Okay, I used to do stuff like that. And then this way it would jog my memory. So when I would get to greeting everybody in the morning, hey, how y'all doing today? What's going on? Yada, yada, yada. Or you can even make note to your teacher, certain things. Why? Because you want parents and children to see that you have a vested interest in them and them being successful in their education, right? So I did this through a series of different workshops. I will partner with individuals and we will offer workshops to the families. That's right. So we will offer resume writing. We were off for financial literacy. That's right. We did that every now and then. We used to do that more than once a year. We would offer donuts with dads and have a gentleman from a Center for Male Engagement come in and offer all kind of resources, especially for single fathers. We would offer the student of the week or the month. We will offer the parent of the week of the month, actually highlight them. This is something that you could do in your classroom, or you can do it globally, like in terms of the whole school. You'd be surprised. People see their name up on something, they are so ecstatic. And then I used to give out like $5 gift cards here and there that I wouldn't even pay for. You can just contact somebody at the local market or Wawa. You'd be surprised. You might get $20 or $25 worth, if not more, a month, just to be able to highlight your parents, right? FPAs, Family Partnership Agreement. So basically what that is, you form an agreement with the parents that you're serving based upon a goal. So I had parents that wanted to get their GEDs, get their driver's license, learn English as a second language, all kind of stuff. You'd be surprised. Some people wanted to learn how to cook. I mean, we just found all kind of stuff for them. And so what we would do is we would set up one-on-one, set up meetings. Now in today's world, I know we got to have six feet of space, but hey, you very well could mask up properly in the event, you are going less than 6 feet or more than 6 feet, whatever the case. You can communicate via Zoom. You can communicate in person. Maybe you sit at the desk, have them sit at another desk. You could still be in the same space, have the window open. There's ways that you can get around the extraness of compromising your health, so to speak. You don't want to compromise your health, but you definitely want to be an added support to the children you service and to the families that you service. I'm just checking our time, make sure we're good. Okay. So you want to have a sincere concern. Are you paying attention to life events such as deaths, pregnancies, new jobs, loss, etc., new job gains? Are you writing consistent daily summaries? Children need a report written out on them, if possible. Now, it can be cumbersome to do it every single day, but you definitely want to do it at least once or twice a week. So parents can kind of know, is your child cutting up, or are they being respectful and minding their manners and listening to what it is that you're trying to convey? Are they turning in their assignments? Things of that sort. You want to maintain a current resource information board. You can get with different programs such as LAHEAP and WIC, and the list goes on and on. They have a crisis program for people that need help paying for their utilities. You have another program, the name escapes me, but they really help with first-time home buyers. They're all kind of first-time home buyer programs for people that want to gain financial independence and financial literacy, and they want to purchase a home. You'd be surprised. These are the things you can offer. And if you don't want to engage so much, you can always create a newsletter and put it in, right? Put it together. So what topics or skills would you like to learn more about? Help me. Let me know. That's it. Yeah, share. You can either write it down below, or you can just write it down in the chat, or you can just write it down on your notes, right? So these are the kind of workshops that we found to be most requested, I should say. These were most requested across the board, regardless of gender, culture, race, creed, religion. These were the top ones. And a survey goes a long way, whether you're surveying the youth that you service, or whether you're surveying the parents or families, I should say, of the youth, or whether you're surveying the staff. Surveys go a long way to help you kind of find out what kind of workshops you should offer. Once again, we went over financial literacy, often fatherhood engagement, English as a second language, resume writing. We would celebrate national holidays or wacky holidays, so to speak. We would also do a domestic violence awareness. Now, with domestic violence awareness, I'm almost certain domestic, because I haven't done this in some time, and that I was over top of an actual facility assigned individually to a child care facility. Now, I inspect them for a living, so to make sure they're in compliance in regards to the state standards. But needless to say, domestic violence awareness, I'm almost certain that is in October. That's the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So chances are you would want to have that kind of workshop maybe in September or in October, something right close to it. Why? Because it fits. It's trendy with the season, if that makes sense, okay? Utility assistance, certain programs open up in a window, maybe September to December, or September to the 1st of January, or October to, you got to see what it is for your county or for your region, but you definitely want to fall in line with what's available based for your county at that particular time. GED and more, right? So these are a few ideas. We're going to breeze through these so we can get to the rest of the training. So these are a few ideas for each month. So of course in January, it would be like New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr., you observe that, celebrate that in some kind of way. National Bird Day, National Bittersweet Chocolate Day. We have February, which is Valentine's Day, of course, National Girls and Women in Sports Day, President's Day, and then a whole lot more, right? So March, St. Patty's, Fat Tuesday, Earth Day, April Fools, National Poetry Day, National Burrito Day. I mean, the list gets longer. We can go on for days, literally. May, Fitness Day, Lemonade Day, Mother's Day. June, Juneteenth, Father's Day, Donut Day. July, Independence Day, Parents Day. Oh, Purple Heart Day, National Waffle Day, right? Are we done yet? September, Labor Day, Grandparents' Day, October, Balls Day, Halloween, November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas. So you have options. You have plenty more. You can always go. So more tips. Take another sip of water. Get your sip. Thank you. So, more tips. Parent of the week. You want to highlight your parents by drawing names, and you can do that regardless of how many workshops that they attend, or you can do it based upon the consistency of their participation. You feel what I'm saying? So you very well may do highlight, like draw a name and do some kind of raffle for each thing that you do, whether it's an in-person training, an in-person workshop, or online Zoom. You might have those once every 2 weeks or once a month for that matter. You know what I'm saying? You may do something like that. So you may, maybe you very well at the end of each quarter, whoever showed up to the most Zooms or the most workshops, they very well could go in a training, or you very well could do it each time. Just pick a name. It's up to you. You have to kind of figure it out what's comfortable for you. We talked about what a family partnership agreement was, how you could follow up. So, you basically, the parent, not you, but the parent or people that you're serving, it can even be a child for that matter, they very well may have a goal, something that they want to achieve, and then you break it down with smaller steps. We had somebody that wanted to get a driver's license. So, of course, the first step was to be what? Get the permit book. Get your permit book. That was a simple goal that they could get as a step towards getting a driver's license. Then the next thing was like study several times a week, right? Study 2 or 3 times a week. That was a goal. We held that out for like a month, for 30 days. And then it was schedule your permit test. Took the permit, bam. And then after the schedule permit, pass. That was another thing. So you had to really celebrate your small winnings. Okay, don't let the small winnings of it all discourage you, because it's nothing like small and humble beginnings and winnings, because it leads to, greater success in the long run. And it's imperative that you follow up and document those goals and completion status and updates with the individuals that you're serving, right? You want to highlight your students of the week, not just the parents. You want to highlight your students for attendance, participation, homework or classwork participation as well, right? Homework or classwork participation. More tips. A newsletter is key. A newsletter is key. One of the resources you could use to make newsletters for free is Canva. That's www.canva.com. Canva is awesome and amazing with creating free newsletters, right? They have a pro version, but you don't have to really get the pro version. You can get the free version if that's better, if that works out better for you, right? So just want to make sure we're good. Yep, attend local meetings for the following. So some people may be familiar with the Rotary Club and some people may not. The Rotaries are all throughout the city of Philadelphia and beyond. So that's right. They're all throughout our state of Pennsylvania. They're all throughout the nation. I must add, they are all throughout the nation. I very well must add. Rotaries are great because it's an organization that deals with community projects. You want to better your community, but they do awesome things. I mean, they're like philanthropists at heart. I've been to several benefit dinners and bowling parties. I don't know how they're going to be doing things now because we're dealing with Corona. But I know since we have been dealing with Corona, there's a local Rotary who I do keep in contact with, and they've still been doing food drives. They've still been doing raffles via Zoom, all kind of fundraisers, stuff like that. Like, they find a way. So that's really good. If you can get in good with somebody that's in a Rotary, let them know you want to, you can date a Rotary, so to speak. Date it. Once you find out what Rotary is close to you, you can actually look it up. Just Google Rotary, and then they'll give you access as to how you can find out what's your local Rotary club, if that makes sense, okay? In order to possibly partner with them so you could get some kids into your program or into your school. Or for your event, you very well may just want some parents to support your event. You'd be surprised. You give a little, you also get a little. Epic, we talked about them, which is Equal Partners in Change. Going to the library. I believe libraries have recently opened up. That's another way to put out flyers or business cards or some kind of cards for the things that you want to do. Town hall meetings, that is great. We found that a lot during this pandemic, we've seen an influx in town hall meetings via Zoom or via Skype that you very well could attend, right? And you want to highlight and reward the attendance goals. So children that are striving for better attendance, they very well may have like 80, 85% average daily attendance rate. You want to reward that. You want to start putting their a little star up and putting their picture up. Highlight that. Give them a shout out. Put them in a newsletter. Have a list of all the names, all the kids, you know, that were shining bright and showing up to school the way you wanted them and needed them to. So now it is time for a break. You've done so well. We're going to prompt the music. No, I do not own the rights to this music, but we're going to boogie it out for about 30 seconds. Let's see if we can grab it right here. Here it goes. Let's see, right. You ready? We do not own the rights, but we are so grateful and appreciative that we are temporarily borrowing this for just 30 seconds. Hey! If you want to get up at your seat. Today we are practicing table and chair dancing. Hey! All right, that's enough. That's a little bit more than 30 seconds. Y'all did a good job. Give yourselves a round of applause. You have done well so far. You are learning so much. You are learning so much. Let's get into it. Okay. I'm proud of you. So, what does it look like to engage specifically with students? Let's take a deeper look. When you're engaging with them, these are the different things you might want to ask yourself, right? What makes them feel appreciated? What do they like? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? You want to survey them. It could be a hard copy. It could be electronic. It's nothing like a quick jot form, JOT form. That's right. I'm dropping little gems, little free resources. You can create a jot form, send it on out via email blast or something like that. I'm almost certain jot forms, I think they're still free. Can create that right quick and find out what their interests are. What are their career interests, right? Do you have a student directory? That helps build up some stuff there. We all want to be something and feel appreciated, right? Can you imagine all the students that you service, whether it's a daycare facility, a child care facility for that matter, or elementary or school-age program? Even high school for that matter, middle school, whatever the case, right? Them being able to get in contact with their friends or their family members. Of course, you would ultimately probably have them sign a waiver or something stating that they would not contact individuals, you know, unless it was like, you know, I don't know, need to know, or they were in the same class, just something. You would have some kind of caveat. You do what you need to do in order to make it work for you, if that makes sense. So, do you take class and school pictures? That's awesome. That is awesome to do. I really enjoy class and school pics because the kids really feel, makes them have a sense of pride, true pride, right? Do you offer a school pride day or a spirit day? How about, do they have like a wacky shirt day or a wacky hat day? You know, you just want to you want to have things that engage them and make things fun. Do you even have a school store? Some people have like bucks regarding school, where if the kids, you see them, they're doing well in the classroom, your teacher very well may reward them with certain kind of paper money, almost like Monopoly money. You could also use that. You could possibly use that kind of stuff in your school store where they gain so many points. Well, that's like $5 in your school money. And then they very well can get little goodies and little supplies from school. I think that's cool. You shout out their birthday, you can get birthday cards in bulk. You very well could get birthday cards in bulk. It's not much to write them out. If it's too much for you, assign it by duty. Have a team to go through. You can have them already pre-populated. Once the child is there, they're definitely there. Maybe like 2 weeks before their birthday, you send out the birthday card. You can round robin that thing in terms of keeping up with how you're going to send it out. There's where there's a will, there's a way. That's my motto. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I see it. So let's deal with these answers right here. So you want to allow them to pick their electives even at an early age, right? Let them pick the stuff that makes sense to them. Let them pick the stuff that they're interested in, right? Could you offer cafeteria style meals? Include social distancing when possible. They can still have cafeteria style meals. It wouldn't be serve themselves. Somebody would serve them, of course, but they could sit appropriately 6 feet apart and still enjoy themselves. Just have that sense of camaraderie. Are you partnering with local nonprofits, community organizations, and mentors and sponsors? Are you doing those kind of things? They're always looking for people to partner with to join in on their mission. So that's the same things that you might want to do. Once again, are you allowing dress down days or quirky days such as mismatched sock day, tie day, tie-dye day, etc.? Well, let's wrap up. So what did we learn today? So basically, what we learned today, we learned how to engage students, how to engage their parents through a plethora of resources. You got to get into the mind. You want to strategize. When you're getting into this mindset, you want to strategize a system. Strategize what it is you want to know. Start asking questions. Start surveying. Whether it's the youth you serve, the staff for that matter, the parents that you serve, survey them. Survey the community. It doesn't take long, especially when you do things as a collective effort with the team that you're on. Right? You want to survey them. And once you have some answers, you can start being able to produce the content, right? To engage them, to try to catch them right where they are. I hope you're getting it. I hope this is all making sense to you. Start celebrating not just their birthdays and putting together the newsletter. Things you can have these systems set in place that even though it may seem like a lot at first, but once you actually set these things in place, it could be like clockwork and you can run the same play every single year, whether we're doing pandemic stuff or not doing pandemic stuff, whether we're in school, whether we're virtual. If the system is in place, you even have there's different scheduling tools that you can use. Once it's all set up and you can have the dates, everything, boom, 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 it'll just shoot it out. Boom, 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 boom. And then you may just tweak things from time to time, especially when you're dealing with newsletters, because it's kind of like time sensitive. But there is a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. All you have to do is just want it, right? So once again, I'm Kristen Lewis Fullenwell, Breakthrough University in partnership with Best Choice Events, and I hope that you have learned something today. I hope that you are empowered, that you are inspired, and that you are moved up out of your seat, okay, in order to want to be able to engage the staff and the families and students that you serve. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Once again, if you have any questions, you can reach out. This is an awesome and amazing thing, being able to just partner. Right? Give us a call. Y'all take care now. Peace.